Introducing Fight Picks with the Pros, brought to you by FanDuel.
Hello and welcome to Fight Picks with the Pros. My name is Chris Holdsworth, and today we're going to review 4 fights on the upcoming UFC Fight Night card featuring Curtis Blaydes versus Derrick Lewis. Today, I'm joined by UFC strawweight Corey Poppins McKenna. Let's go. First fight we're going to talk about is Phil Megatron Hawes versus Nasruddin, the Russian sniper Imavov. Now, this is a middleweight fight, and previously canceled. I think this is back in January. I think Hawes had an injury, and I think this is going to be a good fight. Hawes is coming out of Sanford MMA. He's known as a knockout artist. He's got a lot of KO and TKO victories. He's won his last 5 with 4 TKOs. 1 sob, and his last fight was his last fight he lost to Marquez. So he's coming off some good wins, and he's got an 18-second KO, so he can finish you real quick. And on the other side of things, we got, the Russian sniper, who, it seems like he's got some more fights, a little bit more well-rounded record with, TKOs and subs. So I think the Russian sniper is definitely going to try to take him down and, take it to where Hawes is not his best, which is probably going to be on the ground. So I'm interested to see how this fight's going to turn out. I haven't seen too much of these guys, fight in the UFC, but I'm always looking for new upcoming talent that is going to shine in the division. All right, so Corey, I want your opinion. What do you think Phil Hawes' approach is going to be versus the Russian sniper? Think he's going to come out and just try to bang it out and get a KO victory, or what do you think? Give me your rundown.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I haven't really seen too many of either of these guys. Like, I've probably seen their fights, but I haven't necessarily followed their careers per se. I'm leaning more towards Hawes because I think, like you say, he's got a very high finish rate. He's got a good record. He's got pretty much an equal amount of experience to Imavov. So, personally, maybe I'd like to see him come out, put on an explosive fight, and look to tally up another finish.
I agree with that. I think the tail of this fight is going to be Hawes is going to come in. Last 3 fights, he has a first-round KO finish. So we all know what he's going to try to do. He's going to be full of energy. The guy is in great shape, and he's going to come out to get that spectacular finish win. He wants that KO bonus. On the other side, I think the Russian sniper needs to drag this into the later rounds. He needs to survive the first round. I know he wants to come out and make a statement and go for a takedown or mix it up. He's been in a fight camp and ready for this fight. But he's got to be careful because look at the track record of Hawes. He's putting guys away in the first round, not to mention, by a vicious KO. So this guy has to watch himself. Get into the second, third round, then I can see the possible decision win. I don't see Hawes getting finished, but it's really looking likely for me. If I had to put my official fight pick, I would put it on Hawes by first round KO. What are you guys thinking? Chris, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Hawes definitely has the potential to finish any fight early. So if the Russian sniper is smart, like you said, he's going to take him into those later rounds and try to showcase his grappling and try to slow things down a little bit. I feel like when you always have an explosive striker, I always tell the guys, let's try to wear him down. Let's try to get him to grapple a little bit so the arms get tired. He's not as explosive, and when he's not as explosive, he's not going to be as fast. And those power shots are not going to be they're not going to be as accurate. So I think the Russian sniper needs to get into some grappling exchanges, put him against the cage, take away some of that explosiveness, and take it to those later rounds. If I were to put my money on who to win, I'm gonna go with the Russian sniper, just because you guys picked Hawes, and I feel like his MMA game is just a little bit more well-rounded.
So Corey, if your official fight pick, are you going with Hawes? How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Hawes, and we'll see how it goes on Saturday.
All right, next fight we're gonna talk about is Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky coming on as the big underdog here at plus 210 versus Tom Aspinall coming in as the huge favorite at minus 265. So this is a heavyweight bout. Andre Arlovsky is coming off a win versus Tanner Bonner, which I actually picked against Andre Arlovsky this past fight because I just felt Tanner Bonner was going to be the younger and more athletic fighter, but you can't always pick against the old vets. Like I'm learning that you can't always pick against the guys who's got, a lot of tricks up their sleeves, who've been in the game for 20 plus years, or I don't know how many years Andre's been in the game, but I think his first fight was back in 2000, which is, he's been in the UFC for like over 20 years. So that's just a testament in its own. He's 30-19, 17 TKOs, 33 fights in the UFC. I don't know who else has got that many fights. Maybe Cowboy Cerrone or somebody, but this will be an interesting fight. Tom Aspinall is coming off, his last 5-0. He's training with those guys in Liverpool, Darren Till and them. So he's going to have some good, crisp striking. And I'm interested to see if Arlovsky is going to be able to pull out those old veteran tactics and see if he can pull out this win. I personally think I'm gonna bet against Arlovsky again on this time, just because I think he's gonna get knocked out. That's what I feel like. This guy Tom has some good power and training with those guys, Darren Till and them. I think he's gonna get the TKO or knockout finish. I want to hear what you have to think, Corey. Have you seen Tom fight at all?
Yeah, I've seen. I think I might have watched all of his last ones. To be fair, I watched most of the cards, so probably. I'm erring also towards Aspinall. Like you say, he's got a high success rate with the finishes, whereas Arlovsky's last 6 wins were decisions, and he hasn't had a finish himself since 2015. He's also been finished quite a bit in his career. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Aspinall by TKO or knockout.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'll chime in here. I like the old dog, Andrei Arlovsky. He's really set up. A lot of people say he has a deteriorating chin, but he really showed that he still got something in his last fight against Bonner. He actually took some big shots, and I was surprised that his chin held up. So I don't know if he's on a new diet plan or workout plan, but he pushed that fight. It was really impressive. I think this is similar to our last fight, the Hawes fight, that Andre has to survive that first round. I mean, this guy has 5 first-round finishes in his last 5 fights. He's just putting guys away. So the UFC is just giving Arlovsky these monsters, these knockout artists, one after the other. And so part of me wants to say, you're setting this guy up, for a possible knockout. It's always fun to see the old vet pull it off and drag out a decision win. Now, Arlovsky's last 6 wins were by decision. He's not getting those finishes anymore. So it seems like, to me, it's Andre dragging the fight out and getting the decision win, or it's going to be, sadly, first-round KO by Tom on this one. But if I have to give my official fight pick, I'm going to go Andre Arlovsky by decision, and the dog prevails in this fight.
Next fight we're going to talk about is a women's bout. We're going to talk about Ketlin Vieira versus vsKanutsukaya. And hopefully I butcher those names. But, overview, Ketlin is a black belt in BJJ, Brazilian National Wrestling Championship, and Yana is more of a striker. So I think this is going to be a classic striker versus grappler, one of my favorite matchups of all time. You get to see if the striker is able to, use her striking to keep the distance, keep those takedowns off her, and get a decision win by dancing from the outside or getting a KO TKO victory. And then you got Vieira on the other hand that we know she's going to probably try to take her down and either get a submission or ground and pound finish. I think Vieira trained under Aldo's old coach, Andres Pindaneres, who's a great coach. He's been in the game for forever, has produced a ton of good black belts and MMA world champions. So she's got a lot of good training in her background. And then you got Yana, coming out of, coming from, is she Russia or?
Yeah, I think
is she Russian? Her name sounds Russian. Sorry if she's not, but 13-5, 7 TKOs. She lost her debut versus Cyborg, which is, not a feat by any means, But Corey, tell me what you think about this fight.
Yeah, as you say, I think it's going to end up being the stereotypical striker versus grappler. I'm going to go for Vieira just because, her only loss is to Irene Aldana. A very high-ranked lady herself. And I just think Vieira's going to have a bit of a bounce-back fight against Yana, take her down, look to get those submissions, and just, play it smart.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like you said, takedown versus striker. We know what Vieira's going to try to do. 11-1, 2 TKOs, 4 subs. She's going to try to take her down. And, you got Yana who's going to try to stay on the outside and outstrike her. So it's going to be a classic striker versus grappler. I'm going to go with the grappler, of course, just because when I feel like you got a really strong grappler and a really strong striker, I feel like the grappler most of the time will be able to find a takedown and expose the good striker. So I'm going to go with Vieira by submission.
Well, like you say, she's also a very high-level wrestler, so she's not just jiu-jitsu. So she's got
Exactly.
the ability to take it to the ground where she needs it. It's not just a case of having to find the way as
Pulling
well.
guard,
Yeah.
pulling guard and trying to get a sub.
All right, so you're both going Vieira. I like Vieira in this fight as well. I think she actually has some surprisingly smooth striking ability. She likes to stand. She has some power in her hands. And really, against Irene Aldana, that was a scary KO loss that she took. I was watching that fight. I remember it pretty well. So she was, wasn't just a TKO. She got her lights put out. So I think she probably buttoned up her defensive game after that. On the other side, Yana, I liked her fight against Aspen Ladd. I thought it was a really good fight. Potentially, I think she might have won that bout. So both of them, this is a really big fight. I like this in the co-main event. I think this is going to propel one of them to be, really up there in the rankings, maybe a top 5. So this is going to mean a lot to their career. So this is a big fight. I'm going Vieira as well, and I think it's going to be by a 3rd round finish.
It's time for the main fight pick of the evening.
All right, so we got the main event of the evening, Curtis Razor Blaydes versus Derrick the Black Beast Lewis. Now, this fight was supposed to happen back in November, but both of them tested positive for COVID, and with all these fights getting scratched and rebooked, I knew eventually this fight was going to happen again because they've been talking crap, and this is going to be another example, I think, of the grappler or the wrestler trying to take down the big, powerful striker. And it's going to be, does Curtis have the skills to get past those big bombs and take Lewis down? I think so. This is my take on this fight. I think Curtis is going to be able to get a few takedowns in round 1 or 2, but Lewis is very hard to be held down, and he's going to use his explosiveness to get back up. And I think probably around the 2nd or 3rd round, Lewis is going to find and connect with one of those big right hands. After kind of that up and down motion of Curtis getting a few takedowns, Lewis getting back up to his feet. I think Derrick Lewis has been working a lot on his conditioning. He actually lost a little weight and looks in better shape compared to he did like a year or 2 ago. And I remember him talking about that was a back injury. He couldn't really do a lot of stuff to get his body in conditioned. So I think he's turned that corner, and his back has been feeling better. So we're going to see a more primed and more in shape Derrick Lewis, and that's scary when you think about that.
Yeah, obviously Blaydes is a very large favorite in this fight.
Very large dude in general.
Yeah,
right?
very large dude in general. But yeah, like I say, I always lean towards the wrestlers. I think I like their ability to obviously dictate where the fight goes. I know he said he wants to keep it standing, or he's willing to, but I feel like a lot of fighters almost throw that out there just to give their opposition something to think about. I think with the experience he has, he's a smart enough man to kind of play to his strengths. So I see a bit more of, like you said, like a grindy kind of wrestling fight happening. Like you say, potential. Like both of them probably have the ability to land like a one-punch knockout and keep it exciting. But I think if we got looking for a smart fight, maybe Blaydes just kind of grinding out with the wrestling and looking for that win.
Yeah, the big stat of this fight is that Curtis Blaydes averages 6.63 takedowns per fight. And we all know on the other side, Derrick Lewis does not like to be taken down. Now, he doesn't, for his side, to his credit, he gets up off a takedown. It's one of Derrick Lewis's things, especially in the early rounds. Not quite with technique, but this is a guy, who can bench press twice his body rate. He's an absolute beast. And so he really gets taken down, and he'll bench press you off of him, and he's got these explosive hips for a big guy. He'll get up. But later on in the fight, he's still able to get up, but I find that, he's taking rest moments when he's on the ground. He's taking deep breaths. He's getting sweaty. He's getting tired. He throws all technique out the window, and he starts throwing haymakers because, the fatigue has set in. But I've seen that fatigue set in. He throws haymakers, and I've seen him get multiple knockouts with that. So he's always dangerous no matter what round of the fight it is. But I see a lot of takedowns coming from Blaydes, and he lets them up. One of the things he does, he gets up, and then he takes you down again. So it's really, disheartening to the other fighter. So for your opinion, Corey, we'll get your opinion first. How do you see, Derrick Lewis coming in this fight, how should he negate those takedowns? Should he be looking out for him the whole time? Should he carry his hands low? What should be kind of his technique coming into the fight?
Yeah, I definitely, when you're looking at these big guys, I would definitely never say carry your hands low. Like you say, I think all of them carry that one punch power. But yeah, I think he's gonna have to keep him at range. Keep popping that jab out, and just kind of like you say, set up his shots and make sure he doesn't overcommit, and like say allow Blaydes to get his hands on him. But I don't necessarily see that happening.
Yeah, if Blaydes is smart, he's gonna dance around, use his footwork, and use his length, and try to use the jab, keep him away, and then set up his takedowns off of his punches. Get Derrick to get kind of over aggressive, swinging a little bit, trying to KO him, and then get the takedowns off those over aggressive motions coming forward. If Curtis is smart, he'll play that game for until the 4th and 5th round, and hopefully Lewis doesn't gas out by then, which we've seen him gas out before, and Curtis gets like a TKO victory. But I have a feeling Derrick, he's been doing his homework. He's a better conditioned fighter now, and he'll be able to stop some of those takedowns, or at least get up and then find that connected shot to KO him.
So with all that said, that's the breakdown. Let me get your guys' official fight pick. I know you guys have been talking about who you think is going to win. Corey mentioned Curtis. I know on your side, Chris, I know you want to say Curtis, but your heart's going with Derrick Lewis. But let me hear a little bit of your breakdown, then your official fight pick for this Fight Night main event.
So yeah, my breakdowns is going to be, Curtis Blaydes is going to play and keep his range and use his strikes to try to set up his takedowns, try to get, Derrick Lewis to be over aggressive with those big looping shots, and then that's going to be his time to get those takedowns. But Derrick Lewis is really explosive. He's hard to hold down. He probably will get taken down, but I think he's going to pop back up and make it hard for Blaydes to keep him down. And then eventually Curtis might get a little tired, and then those shots are going to start connecting from Derrick Lewis. So I'm going to call I'm going to call a 3rd round KO Derrick Lewis.
Yep, so I completely agree with how you say, except I think maybe Lewis might start getting a bit tired. Also, Blaydes got very good wrestling, so I think I'm going to go with Blaydes. I'm not really sure how it's going to happen. Like I say, they've all got potential, finishing potential, but I think maybe Blaydes will grind it out, get a finish in the later rounds, or go to the decision.
Thanks for watching Fight Picks with the Pros, brought to you by FanDuel. We'll see you next time.